Here's let me just tweet it out so everybody join in here. 1 second. There we go. Oh, where's my other spot here? There we go. There. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So today we're going to be wrapping up our series this week on what's the deal with lumber. And today we're going to talk about housing. Pretty cool stuff, but we're going to kind of tie it all together. But before we do and before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Oh, we got something here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, let's grab this real quick here. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today. Then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening and what might be setting up going into tomorrow. And then we're going to go through the topic and then take questions and chart requests. And I think that'll be a good time. So let's get started. All right, so SPX, guys, spinning top so far on the monthly chart. We're about halfway through the month. Red month, right? Turned red so far this month as we're entering the second week or finishing up the second week, but finished up 49 points here today to give us a little bit of a lower shadow here on this candle. Weekly chart, really kind of wild stuff, right? So the McClellan oscillator, instead of breaking, we were below 100, and instead today that bit of a bounce, enough of that bounce right there, got it back over 100. So that's kind of getting interesting up here, right? So we need to see how this holds. If we do pull back any farther, I'd still want to see how we held the mid Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart, right? Because as we've come up since the Corona crash, we've tagged it 1, 2, almost 3, maybe 4. We'll see what happens here if we get a 4th time here and bounce our way off of that too. So we'll see how that goes here for the SPX. Again, a little bit of bearish divergence working there on the RSI, but again, McClellan oscillator, if we're going to see a really major flush, we'd like to see it less than minus 100, right, to kind of give it that added weight, kind of weigh in on the market right there, kind of dragging it down. So we'll see how it goes. So it kind of gives us a bullish sentiment a little bit. One of the things that is possible is that we're working on a larger zigzag down. And so if we kind of zoom in here on the 60-minute chart, what we can see is that there is this possibility of a continuing wave down. So we had a pretty sharp down move right here. So if this is a 1-2, this could be another 1-2, and we could be looking at a 1-2-1-2 to start a larger wave 3 of 3 down. Or right, we could possibly say that hey, this was a zigzag, right, and that ended up finishing up really kind of the wave 4, right. So maybe wave 3 was kind of this funky extended, maybe. You can kind of put it any diagonal in there, and then just ABC down zigzag, and then we're just kind of where this is actually a 1-2, right, and working its way up, right. So we just need to see how that ends up playing out into this week and maybe into early next week. So again, there's some bearish counts on here, mega bearish counts up here. There's some still reasonably bullish counts, right. We just need to see what type of price action we get. In the meantime, right, open gap above, so we'll see how that goes there. So let's take a look at the futures here and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So S&P futures flat. So we're up about 1/4 point right here right now after hours. Let's take a look and see what we're looking at. It's been a wild week, guys. We've had a really, really, kind of fun down move. You can look at this a couple of different ways. You can see, look at this as 1, 2, 3, triangle, 4, 5, and wave 5's done, right? So maybe that was the first wave. Maybe we're working on kind of an ABC pullback right here, and then we'll get another zigzag move down. So we'll see how that goes. Again, lots of possibilities. But ultimately today, right, so it was all about the open. So it was pretty interesting. We were actually down 20 points overnight last night. And, you kind of wake up, we're working on the bubble report this morning. And, 5 o'clock, we're like, oh, man, this is looking pretty rough right here. We got this geometric line here, this geometric line here. It's like, okay, let's stay here. And then by the time, after the bubble report goes out around 7 o'clock, we start breaking out of this geometric line. Then we break out of here, right? And then we just start ripping into the open today. So it was pretty amazing stuff. But this didn't surprise us in the group today. There's a couple different reasons. One is we saw a harmonic pattern here setting up pre-market, right? So this is, of course, after the bubble report went out, but we saw this go here. And really what it was looking like is that it could be working its way up to at least here, right? And the reason we thought that is because if it was going to a 3.618 extension, it was possible the bulls could take it up. And the other big reason, look at that. We got all the way up to the 3.618 here. Look at that. Boom. So really, really cool stuff. And then we pulled back, not clean, but we pulled back off of that level, but finished really like a crab harmonic off of that, which is pretty impressive. So So big move there this morning, and we're basically going to see where they end up with this one tonight. But we're not surprised to see that too. It's a huge put to call ratio last night. And basically just saying retail is really starting to get involved in puts, right? So not surprised to see them try to squeeze them out early this morning. Then that's about where they finish is about where things got a little bit balanced. Everybody gave up their put positions, right? And then then just kind of chopped up for the rest of the day. So anyway, so we'll see how it goes tonight. We're looking a little bit triangular here. So let's take a look at this here, triangulating a little bit there. And this might be good enough here to kind of just put. We'll just put that there for now. We'll see how that holds going. It's getting a little bit tight right here. Let's see if we can break one way or the other. Anyway, good stuff. So good. So that's where we are. Let's see how we go. And tomorrow again, we'll see which wave count it decides to pick up. So anyway, guys. So what's the deal with lumber? We've been talking about it this week. We talked about futures this week. We talked about sympathy moves. We talked about the wave count on lumber, and now we're just kind of tying it all together with housing, right? So one of the things with lumber is that it is a huge component of the housing market, right? New homes are built with a large amount of lumber, right? So that's really been one of the big concerns, and we talked about as one of the drivers of lumber, right? So if we pull up the futures here again, right? So down again here again on lumber. So really interesting stuff. How our wave 4 looks like it's playing out, right? So again, it's kind of the big deal is that after the Corona crash, right, in 2020 here, where you can't really pull it up right here. See, so yeah. Anyway, after the Corona crash 2020, right, housing really started to get pick up in high demand because a lot of people were leaving cities and like, all right, well, if I can't be in the city because of the pandemic, let me build a house. And so we've been seeing a lot of that, and so that really increased demand, but it really started to skyrocket and almost go parabolic here, pretty much go parabolic. And so, like I said, the wave count on this one, we've got this 1, 2, 3. And then kind of this ABC for potential. So one of the things that we're looking at that we're trying to tie together here with the lumber market is also the housing market, right? And so one of the things that we could do is we looked at sympathy moves, right? But one of the other things we want to do is also look at those home builders, for instance, like Lennar. And what we could do is kind of let's take that for example. Let's take LEN, or we could put DR Horton, whichever one we want, and add it as a follow-up study right here. So we go studies, we go to add studies, and then go all the way to the bottom, compare with, right, and just put a symbol in here. We'll put like LEN, right? So you can kind of take a look here. And really, it's here's the LEN, right? This is one of the home builder stock names, right? That gave it kind of a big push while lumber was working its way up here. Also making a big sympathy dip buy with the market right here. So what this would imply to me as well is that as lumber drops, right, that we may see, if we can see a larger decline in lumber, that we may see a drop in housing prices, right? And what I found very, very interesting is that when this really started to turn red the other day, we started to see articles coming out in the mortgage market that we've been posting in our member Discord, because we do have a real estate channel in there, right? So just the last couple of days, we go back to a couple of the headlines that have been out there. So on the 10th, right? So on Monday, one of the big ones that came out there was something about regulatory costs, adding $94,000 to new home prices. So that kind of helped catapult prices as well, kind of riding on the tail of lumber. So you want to look here as the price of lumber goes down, right? Are they going to kind of start trimming back on the regulatory costs of housing? So that's a big one right there. Another one too, which is kind of interesting, is that the next day some news headlines came out here too in housing that mortgage forbearance dropped. So that's kind of interesting too. It's kind of a pause day on that news, and one of the things that we think about in the forbearance one is they've dropped the application, the application's forbearance off, and some folks that were on it are falling off as well. But at the same time, right, they keep on kicking the can down the road with it, right? And so you wonder what's going to happen. Are eventually, once that happens, are folks going to be able to make their payments that are in forbearance? And with the interviews, a large percentage of folks are saying no, that they won't be able to do it, right? So that's kind of interesting. It could also weigh on the housing market as well. So we continue to tick lower, right, as these news headlines come out, right? And another one on from Realtor.com on the 12th, right? So yesterday was that the mortgage boom is fading. It was another one about mortgages, right? So we're starting to find that as the people are becoming less interested in houses, right, and building new houses that or getting loans for new houses. That we're seeing the cost of lumber start to work its way down, which is very, very interesting. And then today, one of the big kind of one of the headlines too is that that mortgage lender. This is kind of a funny one. Mortgage lenders are loosening credit. Right, so in other words, also still something about profits being down in mortgage companies, and So it sounds like they're trying to get desperate now, right? They're trying to keep this wave up. So very very interesting stuff. I think lumber. If you're curious about housing, at least new housing, keep an eye on the lumber futures. I think this has been a powerful tool to gauge what's going on with the housing market, especially the new build, and also a great one to look for sympathy trades in names like Home Depot and the home builder names like LEN, things like that, to look for potential setups, right, for relative weakness. So something interesting here. This is the first time lumber has closed, or the second time lumber has closed below the ADMA, right, in like 2 days in a row. And it didn't do that back until February of this year, right? So really really interesting stuff. Anyway, cool series this week on lumber. Hopefully you guys found it helpful and got some insight out of it. We will be back again next week where we'll add a new topic, but we'll also be here Sunday for our Elliott Wave show with Paul with Algo 382. So if you guys are new joining us here, make sure you subscribe on YouTube so you can catch that this weekend. And also, be sure to check out the links in the description to check out our group too. So, anyway, guys, let's take a look at questions and chart requests. So let's see what we got out there. So, Otas, what's going on? Good to see you. Good, yeah. So you got AMC. Okay, yeah. So a lot of the meme names were getting pretty strong here today, or at least had a decent push here today. So now let's see if AMC can try to grind its way up here after hours. You got a big upper shadow on this one. Let's see if it holds and continue to go. Again, you got your GameStops out there, which are pretty strong, things like that. Let's take a look at Piton. So Piton, an interesting one. Decent push here. You know, this is kind of a tricky one. The real question is this a wave 1, 2, 3, and we're in kind of, ABC wave 4 right now? If it is, we haven't crossed wave 1 yet, and we may still see another impulsive move down. Again, it's been pretty strong recently on most of its earnings, but it's had like some bad news recently. So let's just kind of see how it's coming back and retesting that neckline breakdown here. Or, this kind of head and shoulders breakdown. So it's kind of retesting that. See how that holds going in tomorrow. It could be an interesting one. And then LMT. So again, these the War Machine names were pretty strong here too. So sometimes conflicts come overseas, things like that. You can start to see these start to perk up. We've had a couple days here of stuff going on, Middle East type stuff, and down a little bit, but a little bit perky here today. So let's see how it goes. But generally back over the ADMA. So let's see if it continue to work its way up. But good stuff there. Otas, so interesting to see your wave count. Nice. So SPY, don't know. Yeah, I know. We don't know which way it's going on that one yet. So it was pretty clear recently, but this recent move down is like, okay, maybe it's working on a bigger retracement or not, right? So I think it's a good area here to be a little bit risk off until we can get some more clarity. But good stuff there. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Netflix. Let's see how that's looking here. Let's see. So Netflix, guys, double inside day. So this could be interesting, right? We're still kind of chopping around the trend box here after earnings. We got this big gap up here. This could be a 1, 2, 3-ish pause and maybe work its way down to try to test the bottom of the trend box. Let's see what Netflix has in store going tomorrow. Could be interesting there, but double inside day could go either way for sure. CCL, let's take a look. So CCL with a, back on it, right? So let's say the spinning top right here, holding the cloud bottom so far, but basically below these geometric lines. So let's see how it holds, right? It could be interesting. Again, any weakness in the market, a breakdown below the cloud could see this one working its way down. It's been trying. They've been talking about, trying to schedule some cruises, things like that. And then they've been shutting them down. So we got a lot of that going on with this one. Let's take a look at Save. Okay, so Save, again, very, very similar chart structure. Cloud right here, spinning top below the ADMA. Just a little bit of caution right here. We do have this kind of range that it's been in for a while. We kind of had this diamond pattern that's kind of grinding down a little bit off of that. So let's see if it drops down below this range with some volume. Maybe wants to work its way down the 200-day moving average. So let's see where it goes from there. But good stuff. Yeah, Mike, my pleasure. Good to see you. Thanks again for tuning in. Howard, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at MAT. M-A-T. Yeah, so Mattel, guys, it's been pretty interesting right here. The 8's been over the 50-day moving average for a while. Pullbacks to the 50-day has been, pretty much a good bounce right here, but yesterday just sliced through it, right? So it's basically down to the cloud for the first time, so see how that handles, but otherwise, it might be trying to shift trends, so something to keep an eye on there. And then let's take a look at NEO. So NEO's one we haven't looked at in a few days, but this closed below the 200-day moving average with increasing volume the other day, kind of gave it a little bit of a rebound and still continuing to grind its way down right here under the 8 EMA. So good stuff there. Suyag, yeah, Doge is up too. I know exactly. I think Elon's pumping that one again. So he's like, dissing Bitcoin and saying, yeah, to Doge, or looking for new ways to transact and all that stuff. So, really, really cool stuff there. I wish I could pull it up here at Thinkorswim, but great stuff there. Good to see you. 2020 says it all. What's going on? Yeah, let's take a look at ELYS. So Eli's Gaming, yeah. So again, guys, remember we talked about this trend box right here? We broke down below it, right? Kind of retraced, tested, and still kind of riding below the 80 EMA right here. It's got earnings coming up pretty soon, so see how that holds through there. GLD, let's take a look. So GLD kind of forming a little bit of a pennant-ish type pattern right here. So it gave us a good gap up the other day. Let's see if we can get strong and try to break out of there and keep going again. And then the HCDI, let's take a look. HCDI. So Harbor Custom Development again, kind of a penny name right here. Really, really tight range, right? So so nice triangle range right here. So look for a breakout one way or the other. Earnings coming up pretty soon on this one too. So good stuff. Appreciate it. And Shirley, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for Shirley sending these in via email. So Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. So Shirley, Baba got crushed here today. So I think they actually had a beat on like earnings or revenue or something. Anyway, got pretty beat up here today. I did see some unusual call activity come in through the close. So keep an eye on it. See if they try to rally it up here with Baba. Otherwise, nice breakdown on that. It took a while. Right, so it was it chopped for a lot at the O. It's doing nothing, and then it finally broke the 15-hour below and the pre-market lows right here. Right, so nice breakdown there. Retrace, held the 80 MA, and worked its way down. Right, so so really really nice stuff there. Chegg, let's say Chegg. Let's take a look at this one here. So so Chegg again, yeah, nice breakdown candle on this one as well. Not really much to say about this except hey, it's got kind of a geometric line that it lost. So definitely looking on the bearish side there. So let's see if it gets any follow through to the downside. And then you got Fang. So Diamondback Energy again, similarly here, kind of triangulating, right? So I wouldn't get too crazy about it yet. Let's see if we can break down below that geometric line there first. And then DQ, I always think this is Dairy Queen, but it's Dayco New Energy Company ADR. So we got this going on right here. But yeah, that's actually a pretty nice sideways head and shoulder breakdown. So let's see if that can any downside follow. Their earnings coming up pretty soon on that one too. Ollie Wally, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at gold. So gold, yeah, again, very, very similar to the GLD chart, right? Could be working on a bit of a flag pattern right here. So let's see if we can go and get above the 200-day moving average on that one. SLV, nice push up to earnings too. Silver, again, similarly kind of flagging-ish, right? So it's now or never on this one because it's a small flagpole. So let's see how that goes on that. Good stuff there. 2020 says, oh yeah, let's take a look at Walmart again. Retail was interesting. It was on the bearish radar yesterday with yesterday's candle, but a good recovery on Walmart here today. Now it's kind of wedged here between the 80 MA and the 50-day, but it's back above the cloud. We got earnings coming up, so let's see if we can maybe try to do a little bit of an earnings run. We'll see where they go from there. So why can't we build houses with bricks and mortar? I know exactly. That's the way to go. I heard somebody, one of our members mentioned that we could just take apart our house and just sell the wood and buy two houses. I love it. So then that's Guild. Let's take a look. So Guild, let's see. Yeah, Guild had a pretty strong day today. Decent geometric breakout here, right? So it's kind of a nice move there. And volume is a little bit lacking there for me. But let's see if we try to work its way up. It's got some levels above it wants to keep pushing. Good find on that one, Vanessa. Good to see you. So yeah, so people are saying he's manipulating the market. Well, I don't quite agree with it. Yes, he made the power to pump or dump, but he doesn't manipulate the regular market. Right. So it's crypto outside control market. Remember, you chose for decentralized system. There you go. So Dan, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Panda, what's happening? Good to see you. Let's take a look at BNGO. Let's see, BNGO, and Bingo was his name. All right. So anyway, holding on to the 200-day moving average here so far. But let's see if they try to bounce it off of that here. We just had earnings. Was it after hours? Yeah, after hours. So looks like we're up a little bit at 493. So it kind of puts it back at the 80 MA right here. See how that holds. If not, right, we might see a fade on that going into tomorrow. So that could be interesting there. Paolo, what's going on? Good to see you. AMC, I know, I love it. Let's take a look. So again, a lot of these meme names had some really good pushes here today. So again, just hopefully it continue to work its way up. We could kind of look at this maybe as a harmonic in the works. Maybe-ish. Maybe a good push. Right, I'd really like to see it get over this 15 level, right? To see if AMC could get going again, right? So just kind of keep an eye on that one. See if it's ready to work on a wing move on that. What's a good entry point on it? So it gave a good push here today. One of the things I would look at is look how impulsive that is, right? So if you want to kind of maybe look at this as sort of like a 1-2, and this is wave 3. One of the things you could look at is a possible 382 retrace here, and see how it holds. Right, so maybe in this zone here, if you can get some impulsive upside action off of this, right, might get some follow through to see if it wants to finish up a wave 5. So that's something to look at right there. So yeah, what's going on? Netflix has harmonics from 12.7. Nice, I like it. So almost finishing bullish harmonics. Okay, well that could be interesting. So yeah, PLTR. Let's take a look at PLTR. So again, PLTR, still kind of grinding its way down there, isn't it? So again, Still below the 80 EMA right here. It had a nice engulfing candle right here, which did not get any follow through, right? And kind of is working its way back down. I wouldn't be surprised if it tried to test the bottom of that candle again, just to see what was going on there from earnings, for seeing the breakout type stuff. But good stuff there. CCIV, let's take a look. So CCIV, kind of tight right here. You know, under the 80 EMA, kind of lost a couple geometric lines right here, so just kind of leaning a little bit bearish on that. And then MFA. Nice push over the 50-day moving average and right back to the 80 EMA on that one, right? So let's see if we can get some more volume on it, if we can get going. Some good stuff there. And yeah, Plug. Let's take a look. So we had I think Blink reported today. What is Plug report? Plug was reporting pretty soon right here, but he had a bullish engulfing candle off that. We didn't get any follow through off it. We're kind of getting tight, so maybe it's sort of like working on a mini pennant in here. Otherwise, if it continues to break down, like, it might want to test the scene of the breakout there too. So I'm keeping an eye on there too. So the next you got Yeti. Let's take a look. So Yeti with a lot of 50-day moving average bounces, a couple 200-day moving average bounces out there, but a nice one on Yeti for that one. If only Viac could make a bounce like that. But instead, it's just still just chopping around. So we're waiting for a breakout of this range one way or the other here. So good stuff. Awesome, guys. Really great chart requests tonight. And this has been a fun series this week talking about lumber. Again, guys, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification button. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. Even if you're watching the recording, please hit the like button. We really love that. It shows your support. But one of the things I just want to mention, too, is that we will be live again Sunday night with Algo 382 with Paul, that we're going to be doing our Elliott Wave show, Riding the Waves with John and Paul. So be sure to tune in Sunday night at 7:30. And if you're subscribed and have notifications on, you'll see when we go live. But also check the public Twitter feed. We'll be writing the newsletter this weekend, so going to give a hopefully good heads up, as we like to do, on the market and what we're looking at going into next week. So if you're not part of our group, consider joining there. Check out the links in the description, and you can explore our website and look at the different offers that we have out there. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and a great trading day tomorrow and a blessed weekend. So we'll see you guys soon. Until then, stay healthy out there, and remember, your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk to you guys soon.